Well, the dog bit me. The dog bit me. Well, you took the stick and poked it in its belly. Come on. You take the stick and poke it in its belly, then the dog's going to bite you. Somebody help me there. Well, the dog bit me. You shouldn't have growled at the dog. All right. So the provoked him to anger. Therefore, the Lord was very, very angry. Now look at this. It troubled him because they provoked him to anger. All 10 tribes, look what happened here, with Israel. He was very angry with Israel and removed them out of his sight. Done. They're done. No more 10 tribes of Israel. This is why you need to know this. This is why we couldn't skip over this. Because you need to know where they went. When we start dealing with the rest of the Old Testament, because there's a lot of Old Testament left. You got to know where they're at when Daniel's acting the way Daniel's acting. And Jeremiah's acting the way Jeremiah's acting. And Isaiah's acting, come on. And Ezekiel's acting the way, and Amos is acting the way, and the way Jonah's acting. And, yeah, come on. You need to know what's up with all these prophets. Because the 10 tribes of Israel are now in captivity. They've been taken away. Verse 23. Until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants and prophets. Out of his sight, we know, means out of his sight of blessing, because nothing can ever be out of the sight of God. It's out of the sight of his blessing. They're no more in his sight as a blessing. And as he said by all his servants and prophets, so was Israel, the 10 northern kingdom tribes, so was Israel carried away out of their own land. Where were they carried to, Pastor Mark? Assyria unto this day. Okay? Okay. Now, so we got that done. Now, southern kingdom. Now, the northern kingdom lasted from Solomon, because that's after Solomon. It broke up, remember? Rehoboam, Jeroboam, they broke up. And 200 and how many years? Thank you. All right. Now, Judah lasts, the southern kingdom, lasts another 146 years after Israel's taken away. So total, how long were they in existence? Come on, you know, Howard. 356. Yes, 146 years plus the 210. Thank you, Terrence. 356. Okay, now here's the point. Yeah, let's go. So 356 years. Now wait. If we understand the patience of God for 210 years, how about the patience of God for another 146 more years? Why? Did Judah, the southern kingdom, mess up too? Yep, look what it says in verse 19. Look what it says in verse number 18. He left Judah, look at this. He left but the tribe of Judah only. Verse 19. Also, Judah, they did the same thing, kept not the commandments of the Lord their God. You see that? So not only did Israel not do what they did, but after 210 years, God removed them and they were no longer there. Then, after another 146 years of God's patience, Judah, obviously doing the same thing Israel did, now God is going to remove Judah. Look what it says. Also, Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their God, but walked in the statutes of Israel, which they made. And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel and afflicted them and delivered them into the hand. And we will see that God also removes, we don't want to turn there right now, but God also removes Judah from the land also into captivity. Do you remember what captivity they go into? Babylonian captivity. Okay, and we know about that, right? Nebuchadnezzar and all that. Daniel's going to prophesy in that. Remember? Okay. See, now you got all that history. 210 years, then God removes Israel. Another 146 years. After the 210 years, God removes Judah. So they're both gone. Okay. God, now listen, come on, we're doing well. God is very patient. Look at America's not even 356 years old. And if God right now destroyed America, I'm not saying he is, but if he did, we wouldn't even blame him. Come on. We wouldn't even blame him. Would we? So we would agree also that God is very patient and long-suffering and very merciful towards us as a nation. Come on. If you even hear some of the things that our country flirts with as laws and stuff like that, you realize, man, we have done messed up. Come on. Stay tuned. Come on. Yeah. It is amazing. There is nobody here that should be struggling with the fact that God is a very merciful, a very patient, and a very long-suffering God to Israel, to Judah, to the world, even to America. Would you agree with that? Yes. So what does God do to America? But what has he done to Israel here and to Judah that you and I need to pull out of this? Listen, that you and I need to pull out of this, just some simple thoughts. You and I need to pull out and pay attention to what boils God's blood or provokes him to anger. Listen, God has a way of putting roadblocks in your path so that you don't stir him up to anger. If I asked you to tell me what those roadblocks were, we would get a multiplicity. There's a word for you. We would get an assortment of answers. But the truth of the matter is, there's only one answer that God uses as a roadblock. Huh? Yeah, you were liking the camp message. Yeah. Kind of. I mean, all those are right answers. Huh? Unbelief, kind of. There's one roadblock that these Jews, Israel, Judah, America, if you will, the world, there's one roadblock God has been known to use over and over and over again to tell you the bridge is out. Huh? Prophets. Do you realize God has only had one method? I'll rephrase that. Do you realize that in all of God's history towards us, he's only had one method? And there's no other way that you're not going to come up with another method to try to get to use as a roadblock. Well, maybe with this, maybe we need some more tolerance. Well, that ain't going to help with the roadblock. Well, maybe we need to be more broader minded. That ain't going to help with the roadblock. There's only one kind of roadblock. Come on, stay tuned. There's only one kind of roadblock. Now, that roadblock may give you different signs or warnings, but there's only one kind of roadblock. For 210 years, God used a roadblock for Israel. For another 146 years, God used the same kind of roadblock for Judah, and they all discarded the roadblock. Verse 13. Yet the Lord testified or used a roadblock against Israel and against Judah by all what he used as roadblocks were prophets and seers, and by all the seers, saying, listen, hey, well, did they read? No, this is what it is. Come on. God's roadblock is somebody saying something. What would they say? Well, something like this. Turn or burn. I might preach that one day. How about this one? Turn and obey. That's always been the message. That's always been the message. Look what it says there. And by all the seers saying, turn ye from your evil ways and keep my commandments. That's always been the message for 210 years in Israel, and for another 146 years after Israel was gone with Judah. God has always had a witness, and he has not come down and stood here and said it himself. Come on, he's always had a roadblock, and that roadblock has been a prophet, and that prophet had to say something, and the message is always the same. You can have a nice little introduction, you can have a nice little poem, you can have a nice little conclusion, a tear-jerking illustration, but the message is always the same. Turn from your evil way and obey God. It's always the same. It doesn't matter if it's in our Sunday school. It doesn't matter if it's in our junior church. It doesn't matter if it's in our adult classes. It doesn't matter if it's Sunday morning or Sunday night or Wednesday night. It doesn't matter if it's recovery class. You better turn from what you're doing and you better obey the Lord. Amen. Well, I wish God would give me some. He did. There was a prophet who... There was a prophet that came and told you, turn and obey. I counted them up. I may be way off my rocker, but I counted them up. You know, like,